I mean, here we are. Hi, Rachel. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, August 20th. Yeah. So, Rachel, we missed you last week.
Thank you. I am so, yep, we were on the road and I thought I had, I'm using my new Starlink. But turns out when you're driving a deep forest road in the middle of nowhere, turns out even Starlink can't connect. So now I know.
Well, I just appreciate that you're just so hip and groovy that that you want to be with us.
Yes.
Wherever you are. So I appreciate your effort. So A for effort. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll figure it out.
Were you having a great time? Was it deep in the, doing some hiking or what was?
Yes, we went to Mount Rainier National Forest, did a couple of great hikes through the Goat Rocks National Forest. We did kind of a big, with our trailer, we did a big 10-day kind of loop of Washington and Oregon.
Yeah.
For the most part, the Starlink gave me service where I would otherwise not have service, but I'm learning its limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And the limitations are if you've got trees, it's limited.
They make better doors than windows, trees do.
Turns out, yeah. So now I know.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Yes.
So good. Well, we missed you, but yeah, last week was the last time with Christian. What a great student. He's going places. Yeah, I am always impressed with the students from Western University. As a matter of fact, I was, in my curiosity growth mindset, I was like, how can we be more involved with that school? And, I'm just talking out loud here, Rachel. I was thinking, maybe we could bring a culinary medicine class to them.
Ooh, love that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
And we could introduce what we do to them as new students as they're branching out and kind of deciding what kind of medicine they want to go into and what they might incorporate into their own practices. Christian got a great view of what this looks like. What your practice looks like, what we do together, how this program works. And I think that would be great to, invite more people into it.
Yes. So to be continued, I'm exploring just the first step. I'm taking that first step, like we talked through, we wonder. And then, the next action step is just finding the right person to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of asked here, I've asked there. So, and then to be persistent, consistent.
Yeah. They've had programs like this before, so that it's not new to them.
Right.
So I'll send you the name of one of the doctors I worked with and see. I don't know if she's still there as an instructor, but yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, so just really showing students that food is medicine. And that's what we talk about here. On our podcast is that food is medicine. And we've been talking about the food matrix and as it, relates to, whether you're taking a GLP-1 or not, but so many of us are. As a matter of fact, I keep seeing different statistics, Rachel. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody said, somebody who knows this, 12% of adult Americans are taking a GLP-1. That's a significant number.
That's a really big number.
Yeah. It's a big number. And so it's really important to, because of how the GLP-1 works on satiety hormones and also ghrelin, the hunger hormone, by virtue of keeping food in the stomach longer so that the stomach doesn't make ghrelin, because it doesn't make ghrelin when there's food in there. So by virtue of less physiologic hunger, more physiologic satiety, we've been talking about the importance of nutrient dense food because you're eating less. Right.
Yeah. Right. Eating less might be the goal or one of the really great benefits of the medication, but it can come with some massive side effects or some massive unexpected consequences when one is not working with a team and planning and really, we don't want to become malnourished.
Right.
And malnourishment, we see that even, malnourished can happen among a lot of food. People can be overweight or overfed and malnourished. It's not just, this is not just a word for, third world countries or places where there's extreme poverty.
Right.
And
It's so
that's what I'm trying
true
to get to.
because,
Yeah.
and I would guess that a large portion of people in America are, we say, overfed, so they have more energy than they actually need, but not that, but they're undernourished. So overfed, undernourished. I think that's a common concept that we're recognizing, and unfortunately has a lot to do with the food environment in which we kind of find ourselves,
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yes.
if I could just say one thing that, will kind of start us on this conversation today, but also continues the bigger conversation. So many of the patients we're working with are women, that's a larger portion of your patient base. And most of them are going to be somewhere in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? They're in that a little bit of an older age group when our nourishment becomes more important anyway. When we start to be less efficient at nutrient absorption, when we tend to eat different, we start to eat differently. For women, we're going through perimenopause and then the menopause, which changes our nutrient needs anyway. So we're introducing a medication like GLP-1 at a time when nutrition is even more important in the lifespan of a woman's body. When we're in, during childbearing years, it's really important too, but the body is so much more forgiving and so much more efficient at everything it does. So that's where I really focus with, your patient base and my clients with how are we optimizing nourishment, not just for this age you're in, but if you're taking a GLP-1, we've got two big reasons to optimize.
Yeah, I think what you're saying there is that in younger years, we have hormones driving growth and repair. So, and then as we get older, some of those hormones that had been part of that picture, they start waning, and so we need nutrient density from food to do that for us. Yeah.
Right.
Nutrition is always important. It's always important.
Yeah.
From birth to death. It's or even in the womb. Even in the womb. Always important. But you're so right. The body is amazing and forgiving. I love that word, forgiving. And that gives me hope. That gives me so much hope that it's never too late for me to just start the next thing to improve my health. Yeah. So never too late. Yeah. So we were talking about the food matrix in that it's not just vitamin E. It's not just vitamin D. It's not just these vitamins and minerals that we pull out of here, stick in a pill and take as a supplement. I had a friend in college that he didn't like eating, which was kind of blew my mind because I love food. But he said, if I could just take a pill, I would, but we can't. We need to eat food. And I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
So happy about that. I love eating food. And food comes with so many compounds, some known, so much unknown.
Yeah.
And it's the total food with all of its compounds that helps with digestion, absorption, and then assimilation. Those are three different things. First we got to break down the food. Then we have to absorb the nutrients from the food. And then we have to assimilate those into our cells. Right? Yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about this, trying to talk about it just a little bit differently. So there's foods have structure, elements of structure for my body. They have elements of repair for my body, and they have energy. So most foods have combination of structure, blocks, repair building blocks, and then energy. And when I've stored a lot of energy already, because my body's very efficient, and if I bring in too much energy, it will just keep it for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's designed to do. And we can talk about when it's there's a tipping point where that if storing too much energy becomes dysfunctional, okay, and not helpful for me. But anyway, so if I've stored too much energy, then I want to focus on the foods that are mostly structure and repair foods and less of the energy foods. Yeah. And we know that ultra processed food is none of those, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's none of that. It doesn't have structure, it doesn't have repair. Okay, well, it has a lot of energy and it's jet fuel energy, not this.
Right. Yeah. It is ultra energy. Yeah.
It's energy that burns not clean. It's not a clean energy.
Right.
Yeah. It's not a clean energy. So yeah, so not a lot of place for the ultra processed foods in
and I love what you said about not burning clean, because I think about, if we think about that metaphor of an engine and not burning clean, there's a consequence when we buy cheap fuel, let's say, or not clean fuel. It harms and damages the engine over time. Does it get it by? Yes. But is it malnourished in a way? Yeah. And so there are consequences to this not clean fuel, because now it's going in, and I've heard you use the term gumming up the system, right? The system becomes, which is our cells and our mitochondria. Like, we're talking about deep cellular level, not just what's my fat cell doing, right? Yeah, like way deep in, and things we haven't even uncovered yet because we don't have the technology to discover the levels in the cell, perhaps. But yeah, talk a little bit more about the gumming up, because we know there's a lot going on in the environment. We know there's a lot going on in our food culture. We know that food industries are really not serving humanity. And we know there's our genetics that we can't control. So a lot of things that feel out of our control, but we're not powerless. Right. So what is happening with that jet fuel that's not clean?
Right. Yeah. Well, what I think of it, if there's too much, so if fuel goes into my body too quickly, into my bloodstream, for example, because it's it's ultra processed. It's a fat without fiber. It's a carbohydrate without fiber. So they're naked. They're naked.
Yeah.
I mean, so what would be like a Twinkie is fat and sugar. An Oreo is fat and sugar together. I'm not saying you can never eat an Oreo, but a lot like pizza, just there's fat and sugar together. There's no fiber with that. There's just no. That's just fuel that gets. There's no like yield sign. Not a yield sign. It's slow sign. We need a slow sign. We need our energy to go through the school zones very slowly, 20 miles an hour, right?
There are children at play.
Yes, that's right.
Slow down.
Yeah. And then fiber just kind of slows that uptake. So foods like pizza or I'm just going to say Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, no fiber there. And so that energy is, and then no other food matrix complexity for structure and repair, really. So that energy from the fat and the carbohydrate just goes,
right in.
It just goes right into the bloodstream, and it wreaks havoc, because my body has to, insulin is it is the director of resources. Okay. And it's there's too many resources all at once. Okay. And we got to get them out of here, because too many resources in the bloodstream at one time causes problems. I mean, so too much fat in the blood, and that the blood, just to let you know, the fat doesn't go right into the bloodstream. It has to go into like these little submarines. We call them chylomicrons. Yeah, they're chylomicrons. But when it goes into the bloodstream too fast, same with the glucose, it can start doing damage to the blood vessel walls. And I don't want that. Yeah. Right. Because then I need that causes damage, and then it has to be repaired. And if I have too much fat in my bloodstream, those repair mechanisms can get stuck in there, and that can start building volcanoes. It changes the geography of my arteries if I have too much naked fat and carbohydrate going into the system too fast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I actually start building volcanoes that are more likely to erupt, not today or tomorrow, but I'm starting I'm starting atherosclerosis, or I'm starting cardiovascular disease.
Right.
With what I'm eating.
Right. Diabetes, I'm sure, is part
diabetes.
of that.
Yeah. Right.
So now we've got a system that's kind of gummed up, that's kind of dysfunctional in a way, not broken. I mean, I don't know. How do you describe that in a way that people can understand what's happening in their body?
Right. Yeah, because I'm glad you said that word broken, because there's been, so am I broken? There's been some talks on, and we don't want to, we're very careful about our words, which is important. It's not so much that broken, not broken. It's not an all or none thing. We're really trying to get away from this all or none thinking. It's that part of my system, my little receptors I have either upregulated or downregulated, or they're gummed up by a certain kind of fat that I'm eating that doesn't make the molecular structure really well. So that kind of gums up the works too. I mean, it's so fascinating to me, but it becomes dysfunctional. And so, the food environment has a lot to do with it. Our genetics have a lot to do with it. But even if that's like 95% of the issue, there's still 5% of the issue that I can, okay.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit that I have agency over that I can fix, which is so empowering to me to do my part in improving my health.
Right. We have 100% responsibility over maybe the 5% that we're in charge of, and we're just using numbers. That's not those aren't accurate percentages.
Right.
I would actually be inclined to say we have much more percentage of responsibility. But whatever it is, there are things outside of our control. There are things that we don't have ability to change. But what we do have, we have 100% ability of that percent that we have in charge of.
Yeah,
that's hopeful.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I'm going to say this, but because we're not in control of the food culture, the food industry, but they respond to us. For example, this whole GLP-1. I mean, they're doing all kinds of machinations and changing things and adding protein to stuff, and I took a picture of this the other day, Rachel. It was a Cheeto brand cheese. Okay. They're taking the dyes out of the Cheetos, so it's like naked Cheetos, as if
that solves it all, as if now this is a health food.
Health food. But what we can do is just not buy it, right? I mean, we can grow in our knowledge. It's like, okay, it's not going to help my structure and repair mechanisms in my body.
Right.
So it can be a treat food if you like that.
Yeah, it comes down to really the agency. We really want, your patients, my clients, to be moving forward with self-agency, with self-decision making. Because again, the GLP-1 does not tell you what to eat. It doesn't make your food for you. It doesn't shop for you. It doesn't prep for you. There's a lot of things it cannot do. And this is where, being, under the guidance and the care of Dr. Gilbert or another doctor like her, and having a coach help you implement, this is how you fully capitalize on the help that the GLP-1 has for now, and also as you move through the health journey and what it looks like for you on the other end, because there's a maintenance waiting for you on the other end. It's not just what you're doing now. Are you learning the skills, the strategies, and how to eat properly for now and for then. And
That's
that
right.
comes down to self-agency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so true. Because, you know, the GLP-1, well, we're just finding out so much stuff,
Mhm.
or not stuff, it's not stuff, the biochemistry of it and where it's working like in the stomach, in the artery wall, in the brain. I mean, so it's pretty fascinating. I mean, and I'm not going to say that it's the end all be all, you know, it's the best thing since sliced blood, not sliced blood, sliced bread.
Bread.
Sliced bread. By the way, that was Wonder Bread, I think, way back in the
It was. Yep.
20s or something like that. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yes. So okay. Sorry, I got caught off.
You're not going to
guard,
say that the GLP-1 is the answer for everything.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that. Although there's a lot of remarkable things that it, and what it points to, I think, is how if we, you know, use it correctly, or and we think about what it's doing, how much more benefit can I get from starting with whole real food in the first place, whether I'm taking a GLP-1 or not.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting. Another thing I saw in the grocery store, my husband does this shopping. So every once in a while I go to the store, and I'm just, the reason he does the shopping is because he's in and out. I mean, I'm up and down food aisles, kind of looking at what's new, and
right.
Rachel, it was like apple pie, pork and beans.
Yeah, I saw. You sent me the picture, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. What is this?
I know. Are we having dessert for dinner? I mean, what is going on here? Isn't pork and beans sugar enough? I mean, they're just putting apple pie in the pork. I didn't get it. It was. I thought, you know, I was thinking we're making headway here, at least taking the dye out of the Cheetos, but no, apple pie, pork and beans.
Yeah. That's not going to offer a lot of repair. And here's the tricky part about it. Let's put it where it belongs. Pork and beans are typically a dessert food. Do they have beans? Yes. And the beans are a powerhouse food. They're full of protein and fiber. When
they do everything. They do
everything.
Structure, they do repair, they do energy, structure, repair, energy. I mean, it's a beautiful food.
It's a beautiful food. But when we've changed it and put it in a can with sugar, it's no longer, it doesn't get to live in that category. So I try to really encourage my clients, eat what you're going to eat, but make sure you know what you're calling it and put it in the right category. So if you look at that food plate, and we're talking about half of your food plate is fruits and vegetables, and there's a quarter that's maybe a whole grain, and the other quarter is that healthy whole protein. That pork and beans is going to go like in the carb or dessert category.
Yes. Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. So exactly. You don't want to ask food to do for you what it just can't do.
It cannot do that for you.
Yeah.
Right. That can of pork and beans comes with too much baggage. Yeah, there's probably some protein in there. Yeah, there's probably some fiber, but the baggage, it
outweighs.
It outweighs.
Undoes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Negates.
So call it what you want to call it. Yeah, it's just a complete negation. But this takes some education and some understanding of food labels, and it's very easy to get misled by labels and by, beans are good for me. Rachel Dr. Gilbert said beans are great. Here's a fun way to eat beans, and I'll probably like it a little bit better. If that's your gateway to eating more beans, I'm going to give you a thumbs up and say that's better than no beans. But the goal then is to continue to move towards whole real beans, right? Yeah. Like there's sometimes these gateway foods that help us eat a little healthier. Let's move that way if we need to. But if we can do without it, let's do without that.
All right. That's so good. Yeah. Rachel, you were telling me last week about, as far as food matrix, so it's not just what's in the whole real food. Sometimes it's combining foods together too, right?
Right.
Yeah. For example, combining a little bit of honey with yogurt can you speak to that and what you learned about that?
Yes, that was really surprising to me because I've always loved plain yogurt with a little honey on it, but I've always felt that little twinge of, ooh, I'm adding sugar, and my goal would be to eat plain yogurt by itself, maybe with some berries. But, plain yogurt it's a little brutal. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little rough, folks. It's not for everyone, is what I hear. And so I'm always
Some
trying to
people don't like it.
Right, at all. But how can we make it a little bit more palatable? And I learned that if we add a little drizzle of honey, and we don't need a whole lot of it, and honey is a high sugar natural food, but it's just, that's what it is. It's sugar. But if we add a little bit of that honey, the chemical, the compounds, or whatever is in the matrix of honey, helps the probiotics be more readily absorbed. Makes them more available. And I know what it does. It helps the probiotics get through the gut, get through the stomach acids, right? And make its way, because where we want all the bugs when we eat yogurt, we want the bugs in the gut, not in our stomach. We want them to survive all the way through. And honey helps protect the bugs. It's like they put them in a little rowboat. Come on, guys, let's go. And it's like, rather than than being damaged by it. Good to see you, stomach. We're heading down to the gut. Bye, everyone. But how cool is that?
Isn't that, yeah.
The symbiosis of whole real foods working together.
Right.
Who knew? Now we do.
So
Fun.
In that vein, I am we might need to be wrapping things up here at 12:26. So I am trying a few new things. So instead of what's for dinner, which you can jump in on what's for dinner, I am trying a few things to new. And so one is, when you say I eat this cup of yogurt, and maybe it's maybe a teaspoon of honey, which would be like 4 grams. And then I'm also, to get even more probiotic. Now this might gross somebody out, but it's okay. I'm doing, I'm putting also in there some sauerkraut, some fermented sauerkraut with my yogurt and a little bit of honey. And then I'm putting that over mixed greens. So, yeah, I know. It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. So I'm getting structure. I'm getting repair. I'm getting structure and repair. There's not a lot of energy there. I need a little bit of energy, but it's structure and repair for my gut. There's protein structure for all my cells in my muscle. I use a low fat yogurt. So anyway, it's so the greens. Yeah. So that's my new thing.
I love it. I love the bravery and the curiosity of what, you never know what kind of combination you're going to find that you enjoy. And I can see that, plain yogurt and sauerkraut, they've already got that tang, that tart, that kind of that flavor. So I can see how they would go together just fine. And it's really taking yogurt out of the category of this has to be a breakfast food, or this is a sweet food, with blueberries and right. Like we can take food away from how we normally think about it and reimagine it. I use Greek yogurt as sour cream. If I'm ever wanting like a sour cream, you can't tell the difference. It's amazing. It is so good. And here I've got this big dollop of extra protein, probiotics, calcium. And I feel like it's more nutritious. It's more of what I'm looking for. And so that works well. So we can rethink foods and use them differently. Yeah.
So good. So what are you, what's for dinner for you, Rachel?
We're doing our tried and true big giant pot of spaghetti sauce, chunky veggie spaghetti sauce over greens. We always chop up greens and put the sauce over greens to wilt it down. And then I've got this nutritional yeast spice mix that I made based on a recipe from that Zoe cookbook you gave me at Christmas.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit spicy, and it's got actually some ground up sesame or sunflower seeds in it. So it's got a little crunch, but they're ground up. It's very interesting. So sprinkle that over, and it's a little bit more savory. So that's dinner. Yeah. How about you?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try that mixture. I don't even know what to call it, but I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, you need a name for it.
Yeah, I need a name for it.
Yeah.
And then I am also trying to learn how to use cacao powder. Yeah, so I have a couple of different recipes I'm looking for. I'm trying to move from, because I love 100% chocolate. I use Alter Eco bars.
Yeah.
And it's 100% organic cacao, which is beautiful. And then there's some cocoa butter, which is also okay. But I'm just wondering, hey, can I just get the benefit of this? It's a fermented cacao with all these beautiful polyphenols without as much energy coming with it. So I'm kind of looking for recipes for that. So.
Well, I will tell you, I sprinkle cacao powder over in my yogurt in the mornings. I'll stir that in if I want kind of a chocolatey yogurt, if I'm having it for breakfast or on the side of my oatmeal or something. So it adds quite a nice flavor to things. Yeah.
So I'm kind of, yes. Well, that's a good idea. I'm gonna, so I'll be experimenting, and maybe I'll have some stories.
Keep us posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great conversation, and we'll talk with you next week.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about the brain on a GLP-1. Let's dive into the brain on a GLP-1 next week.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. There's more. All right. Bye, everybody. See you next time.